This is Lisa Hayes, and you're watching Public Music.
Sweet, sweet, sweet forgiveness. I can feel you down the line.
Rarely has a first solo album attracted as much attention as this magical encounter with the soul of Lisa Hayes. She sings of loss and leaving, love and passion, obsession, regret, and sweet forgiveness.
Touch you, you'll be mine. 'Cause ain't nobody gonna change him. Ain't no use to.
There is about her songs an honesty that is almost shocking. She seems to know where we've been and where we wish we were.
Yeah, the honesty, I've already had that reaction live to the record. I've had people just kind of stunned because I think that I was really trying to say something in a very female way, but in a very male way, because there's always those 4 older brothers over my head. I have 4 older brothers. I'm the only girl, and after people have known me for a while, when they learn that for the first time, I always get, that explains so much. Yeah, I grew up in a small town in Oregon. It was a kind of a beaver-cleaver type life. I was the only girl, so I spent a lot of time by myself, and I was into music at a very young age, so a lot of hours in the bedroom playing. You know, I was taking lessons at a very young age, but everybody in my you have to understand, my town is like 400 people. So my parents and a bunch of friends decided I don't know why, but they were all going to learn how to play guitar. So they were taking lessons from the butcher. The butcher got caught in bed with the guy's wife and got shot. And so nobody take lessons anymore.
Calling you as a friend.
I started playing piano, actually, and I play guitar on the record and try to stick to it because I know enough to get in trouble on keyboards, and I don't know enough on guitar to get in trouble. So I try to stick to that, and I branched out to a few other instruments, but I started playing guitar probably at about 13. And the very first song I ever played, I wrote. My girlfriends came over and they cried because it was sad, and I thought, wow. So, yeah, I have been writing ever since.
What you mean to me, and I'm just kinda wondering, do you need?
Ever since that first song, Lisa's been connecting to people's emotions. And it's hard to say where a muse finds inspiration. But while she was writing alone in her bedroom, she could hear and feel the music coming from the bedrooms of her 4 brothers.
You know, it was great. Out of one bedroom, it was Hank Williams and Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings, and out of the other bedroom it was the Beatles and Creedence and onto the Eagles and Jackson, and so I had, I think, a great lesson coming out of both rooms. I've never done anything other than music.
In her native Oregon, Lisa formed a band called the Violets. Soon they gained a strong regional fan base.
The Violets morphed from 3 different bands, but it was the same lineup except for the drummer. We were out there, we were going, and they pulled the rug out every time. You just get going, and you got people invested, you got lives going, and it was just one of those typical musician horror stories.
The Violets played Austin's acclaimed industry showcase South by Southwest. The Austin American-Statesman raved. The Violets performed to 800 people, eliciting a huge response from the guitar-loving Austin crowd. Lisa held them spellbound. The band was absolutely magical. The Violets signed with a major label, and just when it seemed they were on their way, things began to fall apart.
I remember reading a book, and it was a quote, I'm totally paraphrasing, from Tom Petty. It was just, you know, they killed, you know, they picked the golden apples, they forgot to water the tree, so they killed us, they killed all of us, and that's when the band broke up. And I started going solo for the very first time. When I left the band, and I left everything, I left a really long-term marriage, I left everything. And I sat in a room and I wrote for a year, and I just wrote.
And what she wrote is extraordinary. Out of that room came the songs of sweet forgiveness. When David Catay heard her songs, he offered to produce the album for her. Then something amazing happened. Old friends and new friends, including musicians touring with the Eagles, loved the song so much that they played on the album for free. And so, Sweet Forgiveness was born.
But I just don't know. Hey, Mr. Morning, got something for me.
This record is extremely personal. It's the most personal record I've ever written, and it really was about, like, Hey Mr. Morning is about leaving. I left a lot, and it's about that. And Sweet Forgiveness is, I usually introduce that song with, this song is fortunately and unfortunately a true story.
Tore right through my very heart.
And I tried to be very honest. You know, like on Sweet Forgiveness, you know, if I just listen a little closer, well, I might hear just what I want. That's hard to be honest about yourself, that you're trying so hard and you're wrong about it. Let it go. So I think the one thing I just want everybody to feel is the honesty, that it's an honest emotional moment has happened, and I've tried so hard to speak of it.
I kissed him once, said I forgive you. I kissed him once more and said goodbye.
Praise for Sweet Forgiveness and Lisa's performances has been immediate and heartfelt. Of Sweet Forgiveness, Lisa wrote, I drained myself of every bit of truth I had.
I just would come back to the word honesty, and I still think that's from my first learning curve was on Hank Williams, and I don't think you could have a better honesty meter than that.
Add Sweet Forgiveness to your music library today. Get it now at the Public Music website or call 1-800-9-PUBLIC anytime. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your support of independent music.